Well, hello, of course, and good evening. We were actually, we presenters were given an opportunity, if we chose to accept it, to do some freestyle remarks before we got to the business that you are at hand. And I am taking my opportunity because there is a moment coming up on Sunday in broadcast history that I feel deserves some recognition. So I'm going to take it. You know this, but Charles Osgood is leaving Sunday morning after 22 years this Sunday. And thank you. Charles, needless to say, is going to be missed by millions. Yet this morning, I was in Indianapolis, where a devoted fan remarked to me that Charlie is always so present. What she meant is that he was so present to her individually. Now, I have watched Charles Osgood in the studio on Sunday morning talking to that viewer. He speaks very quietly, nothing forced or anchor-like, and yet Charlie Osgood delivers each word with the playful precision of the broadcast stylist that he is. I really can't think of anyone else remotely like him on the air. Every phrase is like music, unless, of course, it's like poetry. Here's Charlie in verse on the subject of important news. Powerful are those who choose the items that make up the news, and yet, in spite of all that power, it's much like singing in the shower, for it is clear from card and letter that you all think you'd do it better. That's from one of Charlie's books. The title is Nothing Could Be Finer Than a Crisis That Is Minor in the Morning, which is very fun to say. What will Sunday morning be without his presence, his calm demeanor, his civility, his curiosity, his delight? Charlie and his bow ties are just part of viewers' lives. One of my neighbors said to me, I never miss Sunday morning, or as we call it in our house, church. For 22 years, the Church of Sunday Morning has had an officiant who reliably conveyed grace. People will miss him deeply because even in the worst of times, it felt like Charles Osgood could always see the best in us. Like he was saying, hey gang, here's why we're lucky to be alive. You think things are bad, and sometimes they are, absolutely. But here's why life is good and interesting, and bet you didn't know this about that. And then we settle in for a second cup of coffee. Do you know anyone else who has a voice so approachable? Unfortunately for all of us, we'll still see him on the radio. And now, let's do the awards. The nominees for outstanding, thank you, for Charlie. Thank you for indulging me. The nominees for outstanding live coverage of a current news story long form are
ABC News Special Events, Your Voice, Your Vote, the New Hampshire Democratic Debate, CNN Special Report, CNN Debates Coverage, NBC News Specials, Charlie Hebdo Attack, Hostage Standoff, NBC News Specials, San Bernardino Shooting, NBC News Specials and MSNBC, Supreme Court Decision on Same-Sex Marriage.
And the Emmy goes to Supreme Court Decision on Same-Sex Marriage, NBC News Specials, and MSNBC, NBC.
Accepting the Emmy, Thomas Roberts, anchor, MSNBC Live.
I'm overwhelmed, excited, happy, thinking of my husband.
Justice Kennedy, in the opinion, writes that by trying to get married for so long in this battle, it shows that gay Americans care deeply about marriage. They don't want to disrespect it. That was the closing of the opinion. What did you think of that?
I loved his closing because that's what this has been about from the start. We just want to be welcomed into marriage. We want that ability to commit to the person we love.
Wow. And yes, that was me that screamed, and it's nice to meet you. I can do a reader in 30 seconds. This is a tremendous honor. Yes, I can. So thanks to the Academy and its voters for choosing such a positive, affirmative story to recognize. This also affirms the power of NBC and MSNBC, the strength of our storytelling. With Matt Lauer, Savannah Guthrie, Pete Williams, Ari Melber, Chuck Todd, my brother from another mother, Peter Alexander. You can't go wrong. We have a Super Friends League at NBC News and MSNBC with our leadership, and that includes Andy Lack, Deborah Turness, Phil Griffin, Janelle Rodriguez, who is here tonight, Bob Epstein, and Yvette Miley, who is a personal hero of mine. The team that contributed to this coverage that you see here tonight is top-notch, and we all thank you. To our family members back at 30 Rock, the DC Bureau, we thank you for the dedication that you provide to our coverage every day. My longtime executive producer, I'm Nika Thompson, who couldn't be here tonight. We love you. And on a personal note, I take so much pride to accept this award. I came out publicly 10 years ago, and it was a lonely place for a long time. But it's not so lonely anymore. So I want to thank all the broadcasters, all the newsroom leaders, all the writers. Let's hear it for them. All the segment producers who have come out to say we're here. And I want to say thanks because you showed up where you were needed and the work goes on. And to my husband, Patrick, we celebrate 16 years together coming up at the end of the month. 4 years officially married. I love you. And we're sleeping with Emmy tonight.